Alright guys, literally since 3 a.m. I'm able to get out of bed. I'm gonna sleep until 6 to 6:30 so I can make sure I have energy and give you guys an update. Guys, there is so much that I want to say to you right now, and I think the best way to start is by giving you just a story of what has happened today. So, in the last one I recorded to you guys, I imagine I probably said something along the lines of I'm going to take a few more minutes to sleep. And just to give you the chronological story, I woke up at 3 a.m., got out of bed. I was like, oh crap, I'm an hour early. Let me go back to bed for an hour. Then at 4 a.m., I looked and I went, I still feel tired. Let me go to 4:30. Closed my eyes at 4:30, then it was 5:30, then it was 6, then it was 6:30, and after 6:30, it just TP'd to 9 a.m. And I've spent the last hour, it's 10 a.m. right now, gathering to myself to try and answer the following questions. How is today not going to be a waste? And a lot of things crept into my mind because I didn't even want to open this camera. I have a series where I talk about 4 a.m. and I didn't get up at 4 a.m. So what am I supposed to say today? And there's actually a lot of wisdom in the answer to that question that I've been kind of trying to pull out of myself and constantly remind myself of, which is first and foremost, I am still somebody that wakes up at 4 a.m., right? And what I mean by that is there's a non-robotic reality to the way that things work in life. And routine is a funny thing with humans because humans are routine creatures. They're creatures of habit, right? You've all heard that. So we do go through these cycles where routine makes us better at whatever we're trying to do because of circadian rhythm and all these million other things. Now, what happens is most people become reliant on their routine. And their routine, if something doesn't happen in it, it starts to control the outcomes of how their day go. And for the longest time, I was so aware of the fact that, like, hey, if you break your routine, then it's all screwed up, that I made the decision to myself to say, like, oh, well, I just won't have one then. That was the conclusion that I came to. And it makes no sense. The real conclusion that you want to come to is I will follow my routine, and on days where things are not perfect, I will figure out how to adjust. And that is the true wisdom, because there's I forget what it's called. It's the story, I believe it's about a Chinese farmer. And anyways, somebody breaks their leg. Next day, they come to recruit for war. Everybody's saying, you're so lucky. And they were saying, oh, you were so unlucky when he broke his leg. Then, the day after that, and you can, I've done such a bad job explaining that story. You don't know whether or not something happens to you is good or bad, it just is. So for all intents and purposes, I could have woken up at 4 a.m. today and something heinous could have happened and made my day even worse than it is now. So this is where I believe faith comes in, and I like to trust in God that everything that does happen to me is for a reason under his plan. So when I get put in a situation like today, I think to myself, well, how do I make the most of it? What do I do today? Because it's kind of an objective truth that I'm going to have less time to get work done, right? And if I want to follow my routine for tomorrow, I still have to be in bed pretty early. So here's what I want to do. There's a 3-act narrative for today that I'm going to write down. And the first one is going to be start. Because like I said, I didn't want to document today. I just wanted to kind of half-ass it and try and pretend like this didn't happen. So the start of today is going to be the 10 a.m. or no, it's 9 a.m. I woke up at 9 a.m. 9 a.m. routine breakup. Another thing, routine break. The other thing is I also didn't eat last night, so I'm super hungry. And I made 2 of these. You can see I already ate one. But they're super good sandwiches. one thing that is true is that I usually stay fasted until all my work's done. So that's another routine break. Start middle is going to be the middle act narrative of today's story, and I want that to be a creative breakthrough, right? So on days where I might not be able to get as much work done, what I can do is leverage my creativity and my completely well-rested brain. If you guys are wondering why I actually slept in, why I felt so tired, it wasn't necessary. It was okay. Of course, it's always a matter of willpower. I didn't know that I was gonna completely clunk out when I fell back to sleep. And there's a few factors with that. One is that it's like I had natural rain pitter patter noises. That's the minor one. The second one is that I am never taking a bath again unless I want to go to sleep for a very long time. It's the same thing as melatonin, where if you take it, it will force you to sleep the amount that your body needs. And yeah, as you guys know, sometimes to wake up at 4 a.m. I usually am in bed at the right time to get 8 hours of sleep. It's editing and posting the vlog that always makes me go over. So I usually on average get around 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep. So across 4 days, that creates the debt as to why on Friday I'm feeling this. And then the end of today is going to be some form of lesson about how to still make it work. So today is going to be about making it work. Lesson to still make it work. And my plan to do that is the same as usual. I'm going to get my computer launched up, that is already launched up. I'm going to fill in all my stats as usual, and then I'm going to get my client work done early because I didn't get time to work on my own video before the client videos. So I'm going to get my client videos done, and then I'm going to creatively attack the video on Premiere and get that in motion. So yeah, that's the plan for today. And if I can make it work out of today, you can make whatever day work. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Hoping that today's a good one. Okay, so I'm sitting outside. I just got all my client work done. It's around 5:30, so it took a while, and I'm not probably gonna work out today. I don't know, maybe I will. I am having a weird day if you guys couldn't tell. As much as I spoke about like, hey, go recover this, etc., I still got the stuff done that I need to get done, but by and large, it is just weird. So I think what I'm gonna do now is just sit by myself without any phone or anything and kind of just do some thinking. Again, with fighting and going after this big battle that has been learning how to edit, I have really, like, it's natural to, what the heck is going on here? Okay, let me fix this and I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so the thing is that when I'm learning these new skills with After Effects, editing, 3D animation, it's already this massive strain on your brain that you have to hit the wall so many times. It's similar to when, for example, I was building the routine that I follow now. It was harder to follow the things that I do now with relative ease, like waking up, outside of today, of course. So doing and having to fight both of those forces at the same time is not easy. And I think the real solution I've got, because what I don't want to do is stay up today trying to redeem my oversleeping and screw it. At the end of the day, the lack of early morning grinding for today was a consequence for a lack of sleeping during the week to get more work done. And whether I did it today or whether I did it tomorrow on the weekend is actually pretty inconsequential, because I would have had to miss 5 hours out of Sunday eventually. So when I look at it that way, it makes me feel a bit better. But my plan is just going to be to slow down, see if I can get a little bit more work done. And beyond that, there really isn't a crazy amount. Like, this is the more harsh reality about learning the new skills and whatnot. Like, it feels amazing when you're getting stuff and it's moving along and it's working well, but it feels equally as bad when things are not moving along as well and you're getting punched in the face by learning these new skills. And yeah, I don't know. Like I said yesterday, I'm past the point of no return. So it's not as if I can like kind of go back to like, hey, let me get an editor and do. And I know that that's not the right decision anyways. So yeah, it's just about slowing down in moments like these, coming back to being centered, doing little mundane tasks. Oh, I know what I'm going to do after this. I'm going to go and clean. Doing little mundane tasks to just reset your brain is one of the best things you can do when you get stuck like this, because it gives you that thinking space and also gives you this refreshed mindset going into things. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean, and then I'm just going to sit down, do a little bit of work, edit this video up, which I guess is going to be a little bit shorter. And maybe the meaning in this video is that some days are slower. I think I've only worked for about 4-ish hours today, and that's okay. Maybe I'll end up at like 5-6 hours worked. I guess some days you just have to take that. It really bothers me because I want to know and say to myself like, hey, I've worked 12 hours a day, but and I'm not one of those people to advocate for like, oh, some days you gotta rest and take, like, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you can literally go so hard for a period of time that your body just like stops letting you do that. And that was what I ran into today. So gonna do my best to navigate around it, and I'm gonna clean, sit back down, do more work, and really just make it through the day. A big paradigm shift that I'm remembering that I always have during moments like these is just because it's boring and just because it's hard doesn't mean that you have to stop doing it, right? Humans tie our brains to something being painful, typically to us no longer doing that thing. And sometimes if you can just consciously remind yourself is like, hey, something can be boring and yet I can keep doing it. You keep doing it and eventually it just becomes not boring and you get into some new task, you make the breakthrough. So it's a great reminder to myself. And yeah, it's not a very interesting video today, guys. I apologize. Maybe videos like this are more interesting, seeing how I fare through the down moments. But anyways, gonna head back inside, gonna do some cleaning, and then catch up. Okay, so you guys can see, cleaned up the entire room, looking a lot cleaner. I got this thing set up. I also have the LEDs on, which is something I might do more often, but room's clean. And I was thinking of something as I was cleaning, which is that I have never not run an unreasonable distance and not been in a better mood after. In fact, I don't remember the time I've run an extremely long, completely irrational distance and not been ecstatic after completing it. And I thought, well, no better time to do this than 6:40, which is when I would usually be getting ready to go to bed and well back from my run. But I have to tire myself out because I got more sleep than things, so I'm gonna be up later anyways, whether I go for a run or not. And I thought, well, I might as well get clarity. And when I do this all the time, I'm gonna tell you what I think is gonna happen before it happens, is when you go for runs like this, you bring yourself and open yourself up to a lot of clarity just in your brain from winning physically, even if on that given day you lose, let's say in the business world. And I got my stuff that I need to get done from like a maintenance standpoint completed. So I wouldn't say I took an L in the business world today, but I definitely know that I could have been better. And yeah, it's just on days like this where it's really important to show up. And I mean, I'm gonna be working through the weekend anyways, so it's not like this is the end of my week or like I'm a trader where it's harder to get these times back. Literally, it is just another day. So I'm going to go ahead and find my headphones, which you can see I'm looking for, and then go for my run, and I'll give you guys an update while I am either doing that or over. So the section of the road is closed off behind me, which makes this run pretty cool. And yeah, just moving along, as I said, punishing myself for the, I guess, shortcomings of today, but enjoying it and kind of thinking my way through. So at the end of the day, I enjoy it, and I'll keep you guys updated as I move through. Right now, feeling good. I'm just on FaceTime with my friends while I run, and I think I've done about probably around 2.5K so far. So yeah, whoosh. All right, boys, we're about halfway through. Definitely feeling it. Probably around 10-11K mark now. So if we get back, we finish the half marathon. But yeah, just gonna really get in the zone here. It's night. This is my favorite time to run, so put on some music, just get in the zone, and yeah, lose track of time. Okay, so we are 16K into the run now. Like I said, I got lost in the music, and now just vibing through these last 5 kilometers or so. And when you run in zone 2, which is pretty much just a good heart rate zone, now I'm not quite at a talking pace yet because I've been doing it for quite some time, but this is a pace where I can get my breath back, really relax and chill while running, so it makes it enjoyable. Most people spend their runs panting. I just in through the nose, out through the nose, chill the whole time. So gonna finish these last 5K and I'll keep you boys updated. All right, boys, last kilometer inbound. Feeling really good. Not tired at all. I could go another 10, but I gotta get to bed. So really loving this. Man, what a way to recover the day. I'll give you guys an update as I'm finishing up here. But yeah, just gonna chill, get this last K down. Okay guys, so I've done my run, and this is the moment that I at least have been waiting for to get some clarity and yeah, just really reflect on today and the week. First thing is that I've now seen multiple people copying my title and thumbnail framework for the videos that I do, which I guess is a good sign. You know, it's hard to feel that way sometimes, but at the end of the day,
I just have to keep it pushing. It's going to be my style that I stick to and keep doubling down with. So just make the best videos possible, and that is all good on that front. Just very interesting. It's a new thing for me. The other thing is I went ahead and really thought about my media company and what I'm doing here. And it's been like a buzzword I keep saying over and over again. It's just so I remind myself, like, hey, I don't sell an agency service or a digital product necessarily. Primarily, I'm a media company. But one of the things that I was really thinking about is getting kick-started and really starting to level up the conversion end of what I do. And what I mean by that is that business channel that I was talking with you guys about. I want to get that ramped up. Transparently, it's been kind of tough with my editor. He's had some stuff going on in his personal life, and I don't think he was available a single day this week, so kind of sucks. Really sucks, to be honest. I have to figure out how I want to navigate that and whatnot, because it is kind of not a recurring problem, but something that definitely does need to be addressed, right? If he's going to have projects that are relied on him for, and that's also part of the reason why I wanted to figure out how to edit myself, because regardless of any editor, it's something you always want to be able to weather. The other thing is, yeah, just getting the business channel ramped up. I just need to get over the hump that is this video. It's like a big mental block in my head, I realize, because until I feasibly see a way that it will be completed, I can't really focus on anything else. So what I'm gonna do is, I was actually talking to the client about something like this. There are sometimes times where we know our plan isn't going to last, it's going to change, but we need something mentally in place so that we feel confident doing the step before that. So let's say we have to go to point D and we're at point A. Now, in order to get to this point D that we want to get to, okay, so we're at point A, we want to get to point D. We also might want to get to point E or F, and there's a bunch of different options past C. But it doesn't change that if we're at A, we have to go to B and C before we pick any of those options. So I hope that makes sense, but the mindset is, even though we have to go to B and C first no matter what, having a grasp of where we want to go after C, whether it's D, E, F, gives us the mental confidence to take the first step, right? I'll give you an example. You might want to run a marathon, and until you decide to run a marathon and you put a plan in place and you book the marathon that you're going to run, or you're trying to start planning it out, and you buy your running shoes, you might not go for your first run. Regardless, you're always going to have to go for your first run, and you know that, but we as humans almost need the illusion of a surety and certainty to take the first step. And the reason why I bring that up is because that's very much so the way that I feel right now, is I'm trying to get that foothold of what I want to do after this video is done, to give me the certainty to plow forward on this video. And really what I'm facing right now is just the block of not being good at editing, and it's creating this like overtone where I forget all the stuff that I am good at and was seeing massive success with before when I was just outsourcing my editing. But this is the down tread on the Dunning-Kruger effect. Like, you guys saw me when I was like, oh my gosh, editing's gonna be so good, I'm gonna do the best. Now I'm in the valley of despair, and the next step is to go up the slope of enlightenment. So I have the rest of the month to figure this out. I want to get this video posted before Halloween, kind of a Halloween special. And as you guys know, I actually, maybe I haven't talked about this, but I turned 19 a few days after Halloween. So it's going to be interesting experience there. I'm getting old. I can't say, I remember when I used to be able to say 100K a month at 17, 160K a month, 17-year-old. It's funny how times change. And it's something I've even done, but I've intentionally stopped really talking about my revenue, and more importantly than revenue, the amount of money I have. I really try not to talk about that because I believe that it's actually a Chinese, like, kind of old money thing where they believe money is energy, and it's almost like telling somebody about your money is bad juju, to shorten the length of this description. And I've seen that in every case. It rarely, if almost never, benefits you in the long run for people to know how much money you have. Now, does that mean you have to act poor when you're not? No, that is your choice. But somebody not knowing how much money you have prevents them from doing any harm to you because you're not a target of anything. And it's something that, again, makes selling info a little bit more complicated, right? Because the first assumption to sell info is, and even I've done this, I can go back on my channel, on my main channel, I make $160,000 a month at 17, and I show my payment processors like da-da-da-da. And everyone's like, Alex, you're so amazing. Da-da-da. It's not what you think it is. Both in reality, like the second that I noticed people like, oh, this is crazy, da-da-da, the first thing I started doing was like openly talking about profit, which when we were doing around 160, profiting around 100. And then after I started talking about profit, I then also began literally just not talking about revenue after, because the kind of brand and people that it attracts doesn't really contribute to the vision, right? And one thing that I want to, and again, maybe my opinion on this changes in the future, but one thing, again, that like I'm more lenient on is talking about how much I made in a year, talking about how much I made in a month or a day. That's like, all right, because regardless, when you get to a certain point, people ballpark your net worth anyways, and in the business space, it is also kind of like the scoreboard. So it's kind of like, okay, cool, but marketing forward with it and having it be like the I can, so can you angle is just not it for me. If I'm going to talk about my personal finances, I will do it from a lens of this is what I've got, this is what I did to get there. I don't recommend anybody else do this, or if I do recommend you do this, just be in for a world of pain. But that's a long tale about a whole different topic. My big thing is I just have to fight through this video, guys. Oh, it's hard. It is hard. It's hard to do because it's not like I just get to sit there and edit all day necessarily. Now I try and design my schedule so I have literally nothing else to do, but I still have to work with clients. Like I have to write some scripts over the weekend. I've got to get my next videos ready. I've got to manage lean team, whatnot. honestly, I'm just being a bitch. I don't really have to do much else compared to like any other business that I've run or anybody else that runs a business. I've been very intentional about keeping it lean so I can focus on running the business end of things. But needless to say, I just need to overcome this hump, boys. I don't think there's anything I can say right now that changes, again, the outcome that I just have to sit at my desk, whip open Premiere and After Effects, and figure this the frick out. The 3D animations are awesome, but again, those weren't in Premiere. Like I showed you guys the project file, like they're in Premiere, as in like I edited them into the thing, but I still am not learning the skill of editing like I want. I learned how to do the 3D animations, which is cool. That's a part of the design and is my alternative to Blender, but it's not quite what I want yet. So I have to lock in on that. And outside of that, guys, I'm gonna jump in the pool now, and then I'm gonna edit this video. I mean, it's gonna be a very simple edit. There's a lot of just like, this is like the OG style where I just sit here and talk for like 15 minutes at a time. I'm gonna sit down, edit the video, and go to bed. And then tomorrow, it's a little bit later, I'm still gonna set my alarm for 4 and get to just crushing away at these edits. And I hope today the lesson you took away is just, it ain't perfect all the time, but that doesn't mean it should stop you. So without further ado, I feel like there's something missing. I'm sitting here right now and I want to think of something that makes this make sense to me. And I just can't quite think of it. I'm going to go in the pool, and if I have something, I'll let you guys know. But if not, the video will end, and just know I had my discovery in private, and I will be acting upon it. But yeah, the fundamental of what I'm saying here is just, I probably killed my retention. There's like probably 1% of people watching after I did a whole long tail outro and I stopped it. Long pause. Okay, I got it. So, game plan for the gents. Tomorrow, first thing in the morning, pop up, write scripts for clients. Done. Now I don't have to worry about that the rest of the weekend. That's early in the morning. Boom. Next thing I do, jump on the desk, and from that point on, all I do is lay out the clips for the intro and just start editing the video in chronological order. None of like the skipping forward, oh, I have this idea for here. No, boom, just the timeline doesn't move forward until I edit it, baby. We're gonna be doing that all day. And by the end of that, I think I'll be feeling good to know that it's moving along, because the issue right now is that it feels stagnated because I'm at a roadblock. But once I'm moving along on the project, even if I'm not moving fast, I know that I'm moving, so I can keep working there. And yeah, that is all, boys. So gonna get at the pool, edit, and what a way to recover the day, you know? See you boys later. Bye.